Here are the key pointers of today's budget. Freeze on income tax and national insurance thresholds to end in 2028, preventing people from being dragged into higher tax bands as their wages rise. Capital gains tax paid on profits from selling shares to increase from up to 20% to up to 24%. Rates on additional property sales to stay same. Freeze on inheritance tax thresholds extended beyond 2028 to 2030. Firms to pay national insurance on workers' earnings above £5,000 from April, down from £9,100 currently, with the rate increasing from 13.8% to 15%. Employment allowance, which allows companies to reduce their NI liability, to increase from £5,000 to £10,500. Tax paid by private equity managers on share of profits from successful deals to rise from up to 28% to up to 32% from April. Main rate of corporation tax paid by businesses on taxable profits over £250,000 to stay at 25% until next election. £2 cap on single bus fares in England to rise to £3 from January. 5p cut to fuel duty on petrol and diesel due to end in April 2025. Kept for another year commitment to fund tunnelling work to take HS2 high-speed rail line to Euston Station in central London. Air passenger duty on flights by private jet to go up by 50%. Tax on tobacco to increase by 2% above inflation and 10% above inflation for hand-rolling tobacco. Tax on non-draft alcoholic drinks to increase by the higher RPI measure of inflation, but tax on draft drinks cut by 1.7%. Current affordable homes budget, which runs until 2026, boosted by £500 million. Social housing providers to be allowed to increase rents above inflation under multi-year settlement. Stamp duty surcharge, paid on second home purchases in England and Northern Ireland, to go up from 3% to 5%. Legal minimum wage for over 21s to rise from £11.44 to £12.21 per hour from April. Rate for 18 to 20-year-olds to go up from £8.60 to £10 as part of a long-term plan to move towards a single adult rate. Eligibility widened for the allowance paid to full-time carers by increasing the maximum earnings threshold from £151 to £195 a week. Office for Budget Responsibility predicts the UK economy will grow by 1.1% this year, 2% next year, and 1.8% in 2026. Inflation predicted to average 2.5% this year, 2.6% next year, before falling to 2.3% in 2026. Official definition of UK government debt loosened by including a wider range of financial assets, such as future student loan repayments. Extra £1.57 billion next year for the NHS in England to pay for surgical hubs, scanners and radiotherapy machines. £11.8 billion allocated to compensate victims of the infected blood scandal, with £1.8 billion set aside for wrongly prosecuted post office sub-postmasters.